sound good.
You sound great.
You sound great. That audio is coming in crisp. like a non-alcoholic beer. I'm into non-alcoholic beers now, guys. I'm a former alcoholic, but now my friend got me into non-alcoholic beers. I'm gonna crack one open. I'm gonna leave in about 5 minutes and grab one. The bubbly's good, but if you
Canada Dry ginger ale.
Ooh, Canada Dry is good, but Canada's actually very wet. It's probably a lot more wet than the United States.
It's true.
It's a lie. A lot of lakes up there.
Are there? I've never been to Canada.
I think that's your next tour stop, Kali Kazoo.
I should go there. A lot of times when I mail out art, because you can buy art from me online. I'm not complaining, but whenever I see, I'm like, God damn it, it's going to Canada, which means I have to physically go to the post office.
You're an international star, though.
They don't have postal numbers. They have A's.
It's all A's.
You have as far as I know, when you mail stuff through the post office, if you mail it within the country, you can get away with just like downloading a postage and they pick it. Your mailman picks it up. But if it's international, you gotta go all the way to the post office.
You know what they say about Canadian postal workers, right?
No.
They're a boot, their business.
Oh my God. I'm out of
Good night,
here.
everyone.
Leo's lucky we have no listeners in Canada. So weirdly, like we have
because of me,
like,
there's a lot of Canadian
What is this show I'm on? What is this? What was happening?
The Canadian stereotypes.
You are on Just One Song. And Just One Song is a fun little podcast. And let me do my introduction. Tonight on Just One Song, you have show host Kali Kazoo, who is an artistic and animator. This is totally my fault. And indie pop rock star based in the LA area,
animator,
and a video game enthusiast. Thank you for coming on the show. We did a lot of research into you because we're like, we want to know our guest. And your first question is, what's this show?
No.
So I appreciate the boldness. It originally. No, Leo, please.
Well, I think Kali was trying to get us on track. I think that's what it was. What are we doing? We have shit to do.
It's my natural tendency as a show host. Like, all right, what are we doing?
What is the purpose of? I mean, in life in general, what is the purpose?
I'm going to learn some
of
things tonight about being a host. So I'm super psyched. I'm taking notes.
You need glitter background.
A lot more glitter. I like it. And is this the famous sea foam that I've heard a lot about? Is this the?
Yeah, although I wish it's not. It comes off a lot darker.
Is that actually like
camera
sea foam
than
green?
in real life?
As like on your websites and stuff?
My headphones, the microphone,
and
I heard hitting it.
I heard that you have a seafoam green Carvin guitar amp.
I do.
And a seafoam green matching guitar pedal. And I would like to see these. I heard these rumors.
The amp I don't have on me at the moment. It's broken. It's broken so many times. It's because it's a tube amp.
Oh.
Yeah.
And, anytime it got moved around in the wrong way, just like, whoops, it's broken. But that's funny you'd bring that up. Yeah, no, that was my infamous Carvin I bought off the internet, off of Craigslist from a guy who I'm pretty sure had his drug dealer waiting there for cash. Was like selling his amp to get cash.
The black market guitar amp trade.
Yeah, oh yeah. Because it was a really nice amp for really cheap, and I was like, he must be desperate. And then I met Paul Frank online, the famous designer, and he offered to build me a guitar pedal board because he never had built one before, and he's like, that would be fun. And he offered to take my amp and recover it in the same matching seafoam glitter vinyl.
Freaking rad. Paul Frank. That's pretty cool.
Which a lot of people also, I see my guitar strap that he
I dig it.
made me.
And seafoam.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking because I didn't know. I was reading seafoam and I.
Nice. it's some people describe seafoam differently. Some people are literal because seafoam is white in the wild, technically. But it's supposed to evoke a sort of beachy color. Not quite blue, not quite green. So like turquoise, but lighter.
Did you grow up around the beach? Where does the seafoam come from?
Yeah. I grew up like El Segundo, Manhattan Beach, San Luis Obispo, Morro Bay.
We're just a bunch of SoCal babies up here. Yeah. Yeah. By way of San Diego, but I live in Portland, Oregon now, so I'm far away from seafoam. Yeah.
We all know Corona.
Well, Corona's.
You say San Diego. That's Corona's like me saying not the Disneyland, beach, but I'm Garden Grove.
Hold on, Kurt. No, you're messing my backstory up. I was born in San Diego.
Give us the
right on the border. No. I was trying to make a connection with our guests. But that you are the admin. No, seafoam. I like it, and it does evoke a lot of like nostalgia. I was just in California for 2 weeks on the trip to see a bunch of friends, and my old band had a reunion show in Corona. And Kurt drove out to Corona, and I had a lot of nostalgia the entire time. We went to Laguna, and we went down to went up to PCH.
Okay, yeah.
You don't get so up here in Oregon,
right on PCH at some point. What in Manhattan Beach, it is PCH, but they call it something different when it runs through Manhattan Beach.
They
lived in El Porto.
They call it
El Porto. It's right where the like shit factory is. You know, the LA waste plant. What is it called? The
shit factory.
The Hyperion plant.
I like
Hyperion is so much more professional sounding. I like shit factory too.
That's where all of LA's shit goes and gets processed and then dumped in the ocean.
And sold at Dolce and Gabbana.
It's also where they shot a lot of weird sci-fi films. What was that one with Charlton Heston, where he's like,
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is people. Like
Soylent Green is people. Looks like your background. That's where I was.
Perfect.
The beach background, full circle.
Seafoam.
Seafoam's also. People. I'm pretty sure if you go to these little beach towns up and down the coast, know those like
Cayucos.
Yes, that stuff. They sell like saltwater taffy and fudge.
Oh yeah.
My wife got me into seafoam, and it's like this crunchy, crispy honeycomb thing covered in chocolate.
Oh, I've not had that, and I definitely
isn't that
just
eat that honeycomb, or is it a different?
Interesting.
That's why you're so sweet, Leo.
Wait, so you mentioned you have a band, or had a band? Have had.
I was in Corona for a reunion show for I want to move my I have a very precarious situation with my setup with my microphone. So if I move my computer,
I schedule these meetings for like an hour and a half, and then we're like talking till 2. So this is why.
No, that's not happening tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Arthur let it happen.
Callie needs to put her seafoam. What are those called? Sweepies. What are those things called?
Oh, the eye mask.
Eye mask. There you go.
Yeah, I have the one from what was it, Breakfast at Tiffany's, where it's seafoam green with gold eyelashes. Looks like your eyes are closed. Way ahead of you.
Where did you get that?
I don't remember. I just remember seeing them and being like, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Would have been good if you said the shit factory.
The shit factory. Yeah.
The one.
They're very good at it. They've nailed the recipe.
No, but yeah, I was in California, and it was very nostalgic. I haven't been back. I've been living in Oregon for like 7 years, and I was listening to your music today, so I was even more inundated in nostalgia because it has a very Southern California pop jangle, folk punk kind of feel to it. And I got even more nostalgic because I'm decompressing, right? I grew up with these guys, right?
Yeah.
In Corona. I don't know if you've been to Corona. It's a little bit south.
I'm trying to. I've definitely heard of it. What's it next to?
The shit factory.
It is the shit.
Is it? Wait, is it inland?
It is the shit factory. It's Inland Empire. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've definitely driven through it.
Everyone has.
You sure have. If you've gone to San Diego, you've driven through Corona. It is just a blink and you'll miss it.
Is that near like what was it? Casanitas? No.
Riverside.
It's like Riverside, Lake Elsinore to the south of it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's surrounded by meth. You got a little.
It's a very methy place to be.
Yeah,
You
the
get
original.
secondhand
I
high.
think they were originally going to shoot Breaking Bad in Lake Elsinore, but they were like, "It's too
No, it
dangerous.
was too
We're gonna do New
expensive.
Mexico."
Oh my God, really? Oh
So
yeah,
they
Or
that's
too
probably
expensive.
that too. Yeah.
Because why not?
You could shoot it in Palmdale.
Even Big
Yeah.
Bear. Big Bear is a lot of meth stuff in Big Bear, weirdly. Yeah.
Really?
You think about if you drive down the Redlands side or the south side through Barstow, there's so many little offshoots
you're
going
right.
off the main road. And my grandparents live up there, and whenever we come home, like there's always something creepy going on at night. So you see like someone when their motorcycle broken down and you're tempted to stop, but you're like, keep going.
No, don't do that.
No.
Help me fix my Harley for a meth rock.
No.
I don't know.
That's how they talk. Big
They
Bear.
should rename
Big Bear
to Fast Bear.
No. Ask you what you were listening to specifically.
Oh, the last thing I listened to was Clem off of Engineer Pioneer. Or
I'll engineer Painted Pioneer. Sorry,
what a great album name. I really liked Clem, and then I got into Murky Blues, but I was listening to your most recent album throughout
Very
the day.
different than that one.
And I was going to ask you about that because I mean,
my questions,
it seems like you have always been a songwriter.
Oh
and, a solo artist, and just kind of the evolution of you as an artist. Your new stuff is very much so, I wrote this with a band. And your earlier work is, which I love both ends of the spectrum, very much so. Clem is in a beautiful song. But if you were to compare that to the music you are putting out in 2024, very different because you're writing in the context of a band. What's that like? Or do you still have the same writing process?
It's weird because my process for writing a song has never changed. It's just like I've gotten more like fancy by like working with fancier people or fancier equipment, you know?
Like the Carvin.
Or having like cool musicians where I can be like, do something like this, like bleep bleep bleep, or just be like, whatever you think sounds good to this, you know. But I've never really changed the way I approach songwriting. Like I've never been one of those people that's been super collaborative in their songwriting process. It's always just been me alone writing a song, and then I show it to like other musicians and go like, what do you think? And they're like, it's too long. And I'm like, no.
Crash. Throw it away.
Nay.
Minor valid critique.
But yeah, like it's interesting because I would say the only album that I have that I would say is the closest thing I have to an album that's like written as a band is my third album, which is Bleed Darker and Deeper Than the Seas of Hell, which I wanted it to sound like a metal album, but it's not.
The album artwork is pretty metal.
Yeah, so I got it was my coworker at the time on the Looney Tunes cartoons, Johnny Ryan, who's infamous for doing crazy lewd art.
Very Cthulhu. Cthulhu coming out of the depths of the ocean to destroy society.
And then I made it seafoam because you gotta make it cute.
You're obligated at this point. You've committed.
I know, really.
When you die, your casket seafoam.
I just want to be melted down into seafoam.
Like Ariel in the original Little Mermaid. That's bleak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take a... No, go ahead. Please continue the thought.
I try not to be too obsessed with it, but it speaks for itself. It's a wonderful
It's a great color.
It's such a great color.
A microphone. I left it at work. I was so bummed. My favorite headphones are at work. I do some...
You messed up, dude.
I do.
There's
the Tula mic. I'm not doing. We're not sponsored.
Is it that fancy?
Yeah. Do you have yours, Leo?
One? No, I don't have one of those.
Dude,
I need one of those.
His is black, but I have a seafoam green one.
The Tula mic.
But yeah, no. You mentioned Clem, and that's actually the chords of that I wrote when I was a kid.
Is it a?
So Clem was just a friend. She was living with you, or they were living with you for.
No, I mean the lyrics came later. Because sometimes I'll do that where I'll come up with a riff, I'll write it down or save it or record it so that I remember. And the reason I have that riff is that I recorded it on a little tape cassette back in my day. Little tape cassette.
Oh, in our day too.
But Yeah, no, and then when I wrote that song for the first album, the lyrics, I had just been reading this graphic novel called Gus and His Gang. It's by this French artist, and there's a character in the story whose name is Clem, and I tried to write a song in the perspective of one of the characters singing about Clem, because I don't know why. I was just really into
That's
the book.
Excellent. I mean, I love that song, and I love the music video for that is really cool. You got some cool people in that video too. You got Jeff Davis, Jeff B. Davis, Sam Brown from The Whitest Kids.
Because when I first did that, when I did that first music video, I was slightly paranoid that like this would be all I would ever do. So I tried to like do as much as I could.
Do it big,
go crazy. And I remember like one of the guys ended up being like more well known after the music video. See, I'd only met him for the first time. He was one of the other gangsters, Jake. So he ended up on that Comedy Central show, Corporate or no something. Oh my god, I can't remember his last name.
There's credits on the video. Jake Weissman.
Sure. His name's Jake something. Yeah,
Jake Weissman.
Yeah. Anyway, but he was friends with the director, so there were some people in the video that I didn't actually personally know.
There you go.
That's just how you roll.
I trust people that I work with.
I mean, you just use the connections you have. I mean, most of the guests on our show are all people we are just like direct. There's a direct connection somewhere. And I think you're maybe our second guest in the entire history where it was completely organic. Yeah. Really? And I think, or did you know Brian Reuter? Is he a friend of yours? No.
Brian Reuter. Yes, he scored the music for Fast Forward.
That's
on
right. Okay,
it was kind of organic.
So if not him, you're our very first like person that I've reached out like not through someone.
Truly organic. Truly seafoam. The water lapped up on the ocean of possibility, and seafoam was frothed over.
It was perfect. I heard take a dive on the top 10 shoes joke episode of Harmontown, which is probably one of the funniest episodes of that show. And I was like, I'm digging this song. And I was like, looking into it, and I was like, I listened to it for like a week straight. I mean, other things, but I mean, I threw it in my playlist, and I was like, I gotta look into this artist. And I was like, saw you're an animator. You're just like totally in nearly every aspect of the music industry. I'm like, I need to see if we can get her on the show. And I sent you that email fully expecting to be like, nah, I don't have time. And then you're like, yes. I'm like, oh no. Like, I hope we're worth it.
I'm sorry. Being on, because I think they played a few of my songs over the years on Harmontown.
Pretty cool.
Very helpful.
Cool. I mean, look,
because I would just bug Jeff, like, hey Jeff, could you play a song? Because he's just playing whatever, so I'm like, might as well.
He's a great music supervisor in general. He's always got great stuff going.
Oh yeah. He's very talented, and he's a great karaoke.
Let's get him
artist.
on the show. I'll reach out. No. Man.
Yeah, no, and I would go to the shows a lot too. I ended up, for a while, Spencer was my roommate. Not that long ago, I moved in with my boyfriend.
Hell yeah. Really?
But, yeah. Because I met him, because I needed a roommate, and I met him through, because I knew, so the person I knew first was Harmon and Schraub.
Wow.
And I met Jeff Davis, and then Spencer, just, after
that.
I actually went to the very first Harmontown that was not recorded. It was just Harmon alone in the back room of Meltdown.
What a show.
It's like 2011
like a modern day, like Homer or Plato just standing on a box shouting his thoughts, and you're like, this is gold.
It was like a soliloquy, a Macbeth soliloquy, Shakespearean. And
this man needs a show. He's like, I've already had it. Damn.
Yes. Okay, so this is what was funny about, although, he's been canceled or whatever, but Justin, he was very aware that I was obsessed with Seafoam, and so there are a few things in the show, especially in the pilot, that are Seafoam, but the girl that he's in love with, Jessica, she's got some Seafoam things on her.
So
and then I think I tried coloring something else Seafoam. He's like, no more Seafoam. So then when I colored the portals, I made them purple, and then he's like, they should be green. And I'm like, I stayed away from green because you told me to stay away.
But they're not.
You did what you were. They were expecting you to make it green.
Yeah. So originally in my backgrounds they were purple, but colored a lot of the a lot of the main backgrounds that ended up in all of them, like Rick and Morty's house and the school.
There's some Seafoam aliens in there.
Yeah.
So anytime I see Seafoam, I'm like, that's her. She did it on purpose. She did that on purpose. That's.
But then I left the show to go be on Mickey Mouse shorts.
Yeah. Okay. So the 8-minute shorts, right? That were on Disney Plus.
They were 5 minutes. The earlier ones.
You won some Emmys for that. 2 Emmys.
Yes, I won.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Those are.
Yeah, no, this is a great show to be
funny.
on.
I remember watching the Mickey Mouse cartoons when I was a kid, and then we got Disney Plus because I forget what we wanted to watch, but my son was I want to watch Mickey Mouse, so I put those on, and there's some horribly disgusting, like the hot dog one with Betty White, and
yeah, I drew a lot of those ones. A lot of little jokes where where just the tip of someone's tongue will be on a hot dog.
It's so gross. It's so funny.
So very real to the food industry.
Or I drew a lot of the hot dog all beaten up with a bonnet, pretending to be a baby and kissing Mickey.
That's
I did all
one of
that.
my favorite episodes. I think the Abominable Snowman one, the yodeling. That's a great one. Hilarious episode. They're so gross. They're so gross though. One. I think that's why I like them so much.
I love it. Yeah, I think I did the big belching joke for that one where Mickey's holding a giant what are those beer
the Steins? Yeah.
Steins.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was like a can.
I every time I'd put that on, I'd be like, that'd be the part I'm like, this is so gross. Like my wife is like, what are you watching? I go, it's Mickey Mouse. And she's like, you're 30 years old. I go, it's Mickey Mouse.
So even more now.
Did you have a part in designing the ride, the Runaway Railway?
So the only part, because I had moved on and I was at a different studio at the time when they were working on the ride, but the part I did, I found out after the fact, because someone tagged me in a video of what is the head of Disney?
Not Eisner, not Iger. Iger?
Bob Iger?
Yeah,
Bob.
Yeah, Iger. Bob Iger. There was a video of him doing a big reveal at D23, the Disney convention or whatever, and they're like, we're announcing the first ever Mickey Mouse ride, and then the giant drawing behind him is my drawing, and I'm like,
where's my millions?
Which no one will ever know.
Where's my millions?
Yeah. You sign away your soul when you're a Disney artist. I mean, that's every company though. You sign saying that whatever you draw becomes
theirs. Is it on the clock or whatever you draw, whenever you draw it?
I don't know.
How much
That's
of your
a good
Instagram
question.
stuff
I think
is owned by Disney.
Well, I think whatever you draw on company equipment.
I see.
On company time and company equipment. But yeah, it was a drawing I just did for fun as what I envisioned a little promo art that I would post on Instagram later on. But that I guess the Imagineers got access to the server and they just went through all the images and they're this will be the ride.
Let them in.
Do you have a copy of that image?
Yeah, I mean it was digital, so I have a digital copy because Photoshop. It felt pretty cool. I will say it felt cool, but it was kind of lackluster because it's no one will ever know unless I tell them.
This is how you get your message out.
And then I feel very me,
this is the clip of the show that we're going to use to
and
all
80
TikTok,
of our listeners in the middle
Instagram.
of India are going to be like,
no, this is how we blow it up because adult Disney kids, that's a whole if you think you're obsessed with Seafoam, just wait till you meet an adult Disney kid.
Ourselves with that crowd, Leo. I mean, them with these? No, I shouldn't have. I
will say it's a good ride. Have you been on the ride?
I went for my birthday. That like it. We don't need to go into that.
We should go into details. Like, every single minute of your time on your birthday. I was at Disneyland for my birthday,
and it was just my buddy and I. We were just like gonna go have a day, and he had to leave partway through the day because the warehouse he worked in had a water main burst.
What a
so he's
terrible birthday!
So I was, you know what? It was. I was frustrated, but at the same time, I did single rider everything.
I have one friend and he abandons me on my birthday at Disneyland.
I didn't.
But yeah, single rider. Yeah. That's cool.
But I got to go on, and it was so funny because like I didn't know what this was. I'm just gonna go on some ride, and I went on. And I'm just this dude, like surrounded by children and families, and I'm like, "This is weird."
They call it out too when you ride. They call it out. They're like, "Single rider, we got a single rider here."
And this face just
and you're like,
up.
Can you be more quiet, dude? I'm just trying to. It's my birthday. Single rider.
I got the button. It says,
"Oh no,
30th," and I'm like, it was fine. And then I went on, and I'm sitting next to like this dad who's with his kids, and he's like, "I don't like this guy being on here." I'm like, I don't like that I'm sitting next to you either, man. Like,
I'm always dubious of a single rider white dude in the movie theaters.
Hey man, it was my birthday.
I think people with kids are very suspicious of people that go to Disneyland without kids.
And they should be. I have 2. And I'd be like, no, I mean, go to a movie by yourself, go do something by yourself. But I didn't know that the ride was trackless. So as it's going along, I'm like, what's happening? And then the thing blew apart and everything separated. And I was like,
alert.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks,
I was like,
thanks, Kurt.
Well, I ruined the runaway railway.
He dies at the end of Gladiator. That's basically what you just did. Is it Disneyland or is it California Adventure?
It's Disneyland.
It's Disneyland.
Okay. Oh, did they replace Roger Rabbit's?
No, it's right next to it.
Oh, okay. I got kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because they tend to do that. They'll be like, here's our most beloved ride, and we're going to replace it with Marvels or Avengers, whatever.
Man, I went on. They did the same thing with Rise of the Resistance, and it was the same type of ride. And I have a storytelling issue with that ride. Is like the premise
with like the splitting from screens to physical animatronics, then back to screens and spinning you around and stuff.
Kind of. Well, like things that happen in the ride, given the context of why you're there, because like you're travelers, and then you get abducted by the First Order, and then they force you into a prison, and then the rebellion is like, "We're gonna save you," and we're like, "Why?" Because we're not in the rebellion. We're just random people. Like they're not gonna kill us. Right, we're just people.
Wait, I thought there was like a spy among you guys.
Not that why. I thought that was in the Star Tours.
I think they copied the same idea. I think I think that's why they justify it. It's the same reason. Like, we have to get our person on the inside out.
So there's a part in the ride when you're like being, your car's been hijacked by the rebellion, and you're like being taken away, and you look out the window, which windows on a spaceship is like a screen door on a submarine. It's not good. There's so much radiation getting in, but you're looking out and like a transport ship, which I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but when I was a kid, I knew enough about this. It hauls like prisoners of war or hauls like soldiers or whatever. There's like thousands of people, and it's outside of the ship, and it gets blown up. And I'm like, that storytelling is terrible. Like they risked thousands of lives for 8 randos. And we're just like, we're not worth it. They should let us die.
Well, like, those 8 randos are going to spend money at the gift store after the ride.
I guess.
So, I mean,
I was like, it's just lazy writing. It was after The Last Jedi where they were like, somehow Palpatine survived.
Oh, the Deus Ex Machina of all time.
They just didn't think about it. I don't know. I'm like, that was officially a Pyrrhic victory. That's a war crime. It's not. It's not okay.
Bad,
you killed. You let thousands of people die for 8 people. Not worth it. Not worth it. Just kill us. And then it was cool. It was cool because nothing's on a track. But yeah, I don't know.
So
I'm going with this.
The moral of the story is that it was you sound like a Disney adult.
That trip shook me out of that. I had a lot of fun.
I got beat up by a dad.
It was the first time I'd been in over 10 years. And like, I was like, I kind of, not that I grew up going to Disneyland, but I went a lot when I was younger, back when passes were cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
And I went and I'm like, I don't need to go for another 10 years. Like I'll go to downtown Disney for pizza or something.
Did you guys ever do the annual pass?
Yeah.
Kali?
Yeah, back when it was cheap.
Yeah, right. But there was an incentive to go.
But then when I was working at Disney, you get the pass. But the pass used to be a lot better. From my friends who work at Disney currently, they're like, there's so many blockout dates. It's like basically, not what it used to be.
And it's falling apart.
Yeah,
like the rides are just falling apart.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're always breaking down. Animatronics
they're going
working.
rogue and stabbing people.
I was escorted off of rides like 3 times, and I was there.
Well, that's because
2 were my fault.
You were by yourself.
Yeah, because they kept breaking down. They're like, "We shouldn't have let you on." I'm like, "Single rider." They go,
"You're making everyone uncomfortable."
I'm surprised they don't like shut down the park more for renovations. They almost never shut down the park. I think the pandemic was like the only time, and I'm surprised they didn't fix things more during that time period.
Yeah.
Well, like that was like Bob Chapek was in charge, and he was like, "We need to maximize profit," and they cut costs everywhere. Everything was just falling in disrepair, and you can tell.
Disneyland has gone the way of Boeing airplanes.
Dude, they did. I mean, this is late stage capitalism. This is the political part of
This is the late stage,
show.
baby.
It is, though. I mean, we want Disney to get better. People as a group just need to stop going. Just let it suffer until it's like, but it's never going to happen.
Tell that to
I was talking about this. Oh, yeah. No, we're going to say tell it to them.
No, I don't need to say it. I was going to say tell that to all the Japanese tourists, but go ahead.
Jeez. Like the Chinese tourists.
Japan has
their own Disneyland, and it's cheaper.
Please stick to our loyalties, Leo.
Yeah, my bad.
This show will not be aired in China. This one specifically.
Yeah. Oh no, I should have kept it on brand.
Let's talk about Winnie the Pooh, and we won't be there anyway.
I will say late stage capitalism. I was thinking about that because I was thinking about how so when you think of fashion, you can like it was a joke with my boyfriend the other day because he was like, "What if I came home with like big wide leg jeans, like Junko jeans and like frosted tips?"
You'd be
and
radical.
I was like, but if you think about it, it's kind of scary to think about. But in the last 20 years, if not even the last 30 years, but specifically the last 20 years, fashion has kind of been at a standstill.
Yep.
Because basically all the fashion houses used to all be driven by artists and, people that just were coming up with crazy ideas. And now they're all run by corporations, and it's all run by capitalism, and it's just maximizing profit. So it's like, what will people buy? They'll buy the same thing they've always bought. Yeah. So if you think about say you're doing a movie where, someone's transported to different decades, you could clearly define someone from the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. And then after that, not really.
Wow. Yeah.
Not really. It just kind of stops.
You know who we need to look to? We need to look at the regional managers of Hot Topics. Because they are the upper echelons of fashion.
Honestly, at this point, sure. And anybody that can break through, and then also on top of that, the internet has homogenized all of culture.
Yeah.
So
same thing.
Yeah.
There used to be subgroups of this is what people would dress like in Portland, Oregon, or this is what people would dress like in West Africa, or whatever the fuck. But now all of it's online, and we all look at TikTok and we all look at Instagram. We can all see what everyone's doing, and a trend is instantaneously starts and instantaneously ends.
I think it's kind of neutralized fads in a sense too.
Yeah, no. But it's fashion, it's airplanes, it's Disneyland, it's everything. Subpar and all about maximizing profit, and even our lives, because now they're saying that there's an all-time high of people being homeless even though they have well-paying jobs.
Yeah.
So there could be someone getting $60,000 a year and not be able to afford housing whatsoever, which is the first time in history sort of situation. And it's because it's like just to exist as a human being, it's like, well, you have to be a human being that has a job, but you also have to be online, and you have to sell yourself, and you're a product, and you're a brand, and you have to hustle. Everything's a hustle. You gotta have a side hustle. Your whole life is side hustles. Like everything is about
reality,
making money, and money is life, and that's all that's important. And it's like they've pulled the bags over our heads. We all are buying into the idea, and we all have little phones that are made by child slave labor in China. And we're all, and and that that's also why Jon Stewart quit his Apple show. He was like, well, if I can't criticize China, then what's the point of this show? If I
that's
can't
a good point.
say whatever I want to say. But that's what I'm saying. It's all about capitalism. It's all about that money. So you can't even say what you want to say. So they say we have freedom of speech, but we don't really.
I get so frustrated when we critique capitalism like this, and people that are like rah rah hoorah capitalism, they're like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you just leave it? It's like, you can't unplug yourself from the matrix. You just even folks that are unhoused and living on the streets, they're still participating in the nightmare of late stage capitalism because they can't get out of the system.
Because there's nowhere that isn't there's only so much public property. Where are they gonna go?
A third space. I just learned about
ordinances preventing people from having farms in a city, public gardens where you can get food. You want to go buy a plot of land somewhere cheap and put houses on it. Well, the federal government's water.
So most of the country, if you drive through it, there's just nothing. It's because a lot of the water was rerouted to the bigger cities. A lot of people don't know this. I don't know if you've seen the Ken Burns documentary, The National Parks, but Yosemite used to have a giant reservoir of water, and they drained it to redirect it to San Francisco, because otherwise San Francisco would have fallen apart.
To the water fountain in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's the same thing in LA, where there was some other town that completely fell apart because they rerouted the one little stream that they had to the LA river.
And it all goes.
A lot of our systems are predicated on decisions that were made way before our time, and we're dealing with the consequences. Up here in Oregon, we're dealing with the loss of salmon in our rivers.
Right.
And the biggest reason why, and it feeds billions of people all over the world, in Asia, in America, there's a huge industry of salmon, and the reason it's one of the many reasons it has declined so much is because of all the hydroelectric dams that were built in the early 1900s, which I think it was Woody Guthrie. Woody Guthrie did a bunch of songs. He got paid by the American government to write songs that were pro let's build hydroelectric dams. So he has a song about the Cooley Dam and all this, but if you were to remove those dams, you displace millions of people and farmers that live along the Columbia River Basin. So thinking outside of capitalism is almost impossible to do, because you're just well, if we were to do something about it to actually fix it, we'd have this other problem. We're just going to flood all this. It's wild. It's fun times.
But it's the bottom line is profit. My favorite example is diapers, because I'm buy diapers all the time. No, I have a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, and it's we have seen, my wife and I, in the last couple of years, the price of diapers has risen, but the amount in a box is less. And that's because well, there's no social aspect to it. I'm a socialist. Yeah, kind of. Where the companies that make diapers and baby clothes and whatnot, millennials aren't having kids like the boomers were. So they just had years and years and years of growth, and now no one's the amount of babies is a drop off. So that means a loss in profits. But they're well, wait, we don't want to see a drop in profits. It's but people aren't having kids. But we still got to keep our numbers up. So they're we need to let's just raise the price and lower the amount of diapers. And we bear the cost of that because they can't stand to see a drop in profit. But then you inject a social aspect to it, and it's just the company being that's what happens. It comes and goes. Let's make it easier on the average consumer. But then it's a negative feedback loop in multiple areas where it's now one of the reasons you don't have kids is because the cost of diapers and things you need is rising.
And then on top of that, monopolies, because the antitrust law, they just let it lapse, and no one's going to do anything about it, and our whole society's going to collapse because every company is going to become one company. They were saying that was the only the thing that kept the prices of food down, is that there'd be competition. No, there's no competition, so food can be any price we want.
Yeah, all the arguments against socialism are things that are currently happening under capitalism.
I know.
It's no, you are describing capitalism.
Socialism isn't good either. They're both bad.
But it's not
both bad.
It's not a black and white definition, right? We don't have to adopt the type of socialism that's in Venezuela, which look how that's working. But
it's fun times there.
That's the thing with the United States is we have the power to modify these political systems, but we're so afraid of the textbook definition of each of these things that it's well, we don't want to touch it. But like, why can't we incorporate some social aspects? How come on a local level,
that's
it's
why
more social?
I mean, historically, it's proven that our best time period was after the Depression because of all the social movements that got started to like employ people that were unemployed, and then obviously war, but whatever, we don't need that, but but like
that's an always on thing.
Like Social Security we got because of the Depression. Like so many good things came out of that, and so I feel like we're probably going to have another Depression before we get all the good things again.
Haven't we had enough in the last 15 years?
But I mean, like, it's going to have to get worse, apparently. Have you guys Star Trek fans?
Not to, I can't name it.
We didn't answer. No, I mean,
yeah, that should.
We didn't answer the correct.
So there's an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where they go into the future, and it's like now, like it's exactly this date, like August 2024.
Yeah.
And it's like it's them walking through like homeless encampments. It's like this is what it's like everywhere in America. It's like, oh god, this
spot
is
on.
Like, oh, this is like terrifying. Like they like predicted it exactly, and that was what needed it to break society and to be like, you can't.
It probably won't. I mean, it's so easy to be like, just burn it down. Just no revolution, start everything. Like burn the house down. But it's like, man, there's kids living in that house. Like,
how if everyone stops having kids, then we don't have to worry about it.
I suppose. Or just raise your kids.
And then there's only one diaper in the package. And it's for me. Because I've made poopy because I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage.
Yeah, how's Depends handling the recession and economic collapse?
You asked me if I shit my pants.
Did you shit your pants?
Depends.
Miles away.
Me not responding is like leaving a high five hanging.
Yeah, I would have shut my camera off and cried.
This got so this conversation got so intense. But the thing is, I participate in capitalism. I sell my little art drawings and I sell my little animations and my music so that I don't starve to death.
But you're not a corporation, like. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to run a business. It's okay to be a landlord if it's property you own and aren't doing it through a corporation.
The integrity of capitalism is in entrepreneurs and small businesses like you.
That's it functions better on a small scale, and we just have it flipped. Social stuff works largely better on a larger scale because it's a more general approach.
And you create community within the ability to sell directly to folks. Like that small scale.
I have a music degree. Why are we talking about this? No qualifications for this.
You're right. Like that I think that's why I love the indie music scene so much, because it's just like a lot of people supporting each other.
Yeah.
Like my first album that you mentioned earlier, Outlaw Engineer Pan Pioneer, that was recorded by my friend Tommy Meehan, who is now a member of GWAR.
No way.
Yes. What's his stage name in GWAR?
Oh my god.
Tommy.
We gotta pull it up.
Oh god, I gotta Google it. Oh, he's gonna be so mad.
I can do it.
He's not gonna listen to this.
What? No one does.
Thank you.
He doesn't have time.
Squid Pisser? No, that's
that's his other band, Squid Pisser. He is
Cancer Christ.
Yeah, he's also Cancer Christ.
Band. Oh, Grodius Maximus.
Grodius.
Oh,
I wanted to say that, but I didn't want to be wrong. So we recorded first album in his kitchen at his old apartment in Silver Lake, and it was just him and me. Like we did the whole thing for the most part. I think Rob Schraub sings on a song, and then Mike Chillian plays accordion on
That's rad.
2 songs. Zebco maybe plays. So Mike Chillian and Zach Zebco are from the Mangs, which is Tommy's other band that I also played with.
You toured with them, right?
Yeah, I would like open for them a little bit. Never went on like a full on tour, but I was on their EP Storms Crashing Our Vessel or something like that. And I had them do a cover of a country song from the Andy Griffith Show. I really liked. And I was like, I don't know. But around that time I was like,
good choice.
When I recorded with Tommy in his kitchen, I was like, I want to record an album. He's like, I can record an album. And that's how he talks.
That's how he talks.
That's how I talk.
It's very nice to meet you.
Pre Grodius Maximus years.
Oh yeah. But he was always destined to be a huge musician because he's just like he can play any instrument. He's just a genius, and he's so kind and sweet and just amazing. And my band Kali Kazoo, or me, I guess, is on his record label, Sweatband Records. If you want to look up Sweatband Records,
Sweatband.
and we're like the only one on there. I think that's like we're the most soft of all the bands on there.
There's a lot of seafoam, so
yeah. I mean,
everything else is.
He's got good taste.
Yeah, it's so funny. There's like Squid Pisser and like what the hell else we got here? Arctangent Fest. Cancer Christ, and then Kali Kazoo.
Oh, DJ Petite Sac. No, Embryonic Petite Sac.
Embryonic Petite Sac. Melted
Petite
Bodies,
Sac.
Def Club, Hurt Hawks.
Yeah.
And then where are you?
Probably at the bottom.
Smog. Oh yeah, you're like not quite at the bottom.
Oh, okay, good.
You're right next to Honda Days.
You know, that's the beauty of indie music.
Fine.
Because
shout out to Honda Days.
Honda holidays are coming up.
I celebrate Toyotathon.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. We got to mention. They're trying to take Toyotathon out of the holiday.
Oh my
God. They're coming for it. That's such a
Say
full
happy
album. That is true bedroom pop. Like you just did, or I guess kitchen pop. Like
kitchen pop.
It's such a full. It's
hey,
so
can you
full.
Elaborate?
Oh, thank you.
What's kitchen pop?
Kitchen pop. I mean,
I'm
Callie
tonight.
just described what kitchen pop is.
Did she literally just say kitchen?
We recorded it in his kitchen, but also my vocals were all recorded in his little tiny closet that felt like, if you were claustrophobic, that would be your nightmare.
I was trying to find Grodius Maximus and like Sweatband. I was doing research, so I missed the whole kitchen pop conversation.
No, that's fine. You didn't miss much. But yeah, no, my last album I think is the thing I'm most proud of. So I think I got distracted because we got distracted by I was describing the art on the third album. But the third album, I'm gonna go back to the stop from like 30 minutes
like an hour ago. Yeah.
Bleed Darker and Deeper Than the Seas of Hell is, I would say, so that was my first album that I did with producer Toshi Kasai. I would call that the closest thing I have to like a band album because most of the songs like kind of came to fruition with my band and we were playing them live. Whereas my last album, most of that was just songs that I like wrote in my room, and then I later got musicians at the last second to like write something to this quick. We're gonna record it tomorrow, So like it's a lot different.
Yeah. It's so good. They're both so good.
You.
I put them on. My son likes it. On my oldest,
yeah.
I don't know how the 1-year-old feels. He doesn't communicate that well. But like we're driving out to get lunch with my mom today, and I just like
perfect. Music.
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, the old Spaghetti Factory, but we put on
Spaghetti Factory music.
That's
my new tagline.
You should play Spaghetti at your local Factory. Old Spaghetti Factory.
The Mazithra special. Do they still have Mazithra there?
They do. That's their thing.
That's like, their number one.
I've never been.
We
should have had this podcast at an old
Spaghetti Factory. We have one in Portland, so if you guys want to come,
I'm Italian, so I'm very critical of Italian.
Yeah, it's not.
Nah, if you remove all expectations, you'll enjoy yourself.
It's just like the old world.
Yeah. Okay, so you were with your mother and your child.
Well, no, we were driving over.
I
just had him in the car, and he was like, he's 4, so he was like bobbing his head, like he's dancing. Aww. And he hums along and sings along to stuff. And
that's so cute.
Totally digging it, and I have to be like, "You like this, Oliver?" And he's like, "Mm-hmm." Like, take that thumb out your mouth. We're getting a bridge and braces.
Well,
No.
We did have my boyfriend's nephew was running around my album release. He was the only child present, and we like he showed him at some point. He showed him how to use. We had a balloon machine where we had been blowing up balloons. He showed him how to use the machine. So right in the middle of like a quiet part where I was like saying thanks to everybody who came to the show, I just hear. But other than that, I think he enjoyed the music. But he's just running around popping balloons.
They're so fun.
They're right because he would do that thing where he wouldn't tie it and he'd be like, "Want to see it go?" I'm like, "Okay, there it goes." Because he was like 5.
It never gets old. It's always good.
Also, here's a weird thing about my first music video with Jeff Davis and all that. The cameraman is Nate Cornett, and he's like a camera person who's done a lot of stuff like Jury Duty and things like that, which is Harmon's girlfriend / fiance's Cody Heller did. Yeah, so there's whatever anyway. But I was gonna say my boyfriend is his brother, but I never met him because I told you guys this before the show, but he lived in Taipei for a while, so I was like, oh, you're like, when I met him on the dating app, I was like, your brother shot my first music video.
What?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like,
and then the rest is history.
I was like, this is random connection.
So Toshi Kasai produced Bleed Darker and Deeper.
And the new one, Long Live the Loser.
Okay.
And he's the longtime Melvin's like producer.
Yeah, and he's got a big pedigree, like a wide, different context. He do the Dave Matthews. he did it.
Yeah,
he recorded a Dave Matthews Band album. Okay.
Yeah. Because he was a sound. He's from Japan, but he moved over to the U.S. I think in the late '90s. So I think he was like a sound engineer, and then opened his own studio with the Melvins, Sound of Sirens Studios. But he's amazing. He's like, it's funny too, because he's gotten, because of working with the Melvins and other like heavier bands, so many metal bands hit him up, and so he does a ton of metal. But like, he's like, oh, don't tell anyone. I guess I am telling. Yeah. He's like you're. This is like what I prefer. Like more poppy. Like Queen is like his favorite band. So
nobody listens to this podcast. Your secret is safe with us.
You're fine.
You're good
unless you promote it. Which if you want, no love.
Hey, shout out to Toshi Kasai.
He's amazing.
Toshi.
Definitely look up his music. He
production...
was in a band called, what was it? Big Business. He was a guitarist in that band.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The production on your last album is it's sheeny and poppy and crunchy and very seafoamy, but it also is like, it's got some like texture, tentacles on it,
Oh,
like
yeah.
No,
good. I definitely, I had a little more time to work on that album compared to the one before it. The one before, I think we recorded it in such a short amount of time because the third album was paid for by a Kickstarter, and so I think I had like a week. It wasn't a lot of time to record a whole album. Whereas the last album,
whole recording.
couple weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And actually, little known fact, because I haven't really talked about it, but I actually recorded a bunch of other songs alongside Long Live the Loser, and I have yet to like finish them with him, but I figured that would be like a separate album, maybe acoustic. It might change. I don't know.
Yeah.
We got the exclusive here, folks. How many people are watching on Twitch? I got 1, and it's me. Yeah, we got the real.
Oh, you're doing Twitch?
I didn't advertise. Twitch. We're on Twitch.
Yeah, no. Well, I hope you heard me, Kurt. You're the one
there's a delay. It'll come through.
But yeah, no, like I will say I gotta start. I'm trying to start to play more shows. I don't particularly have a actual band at the moment. I did just do this show a couple weeks ago at Open the Portal in downtown LA. It was more like a friend's birthday, but it was also a show. But I played. What?
It was I thought it was like your birthday that you're playing.
No, it was my friend's birthday.
Oh, okay. I was like, Kurt
told me. I called him earlier today. He's like, yeah, she had a birthday party. I really wanted to go, and I'm pretty sure she played at it. So just to clarify, for me, it was not your birthday.
No, it was this amazing stop motion sculptor animator guy, Eric Oxford's birthday, and he like traditionally always blows up his head at the end, but he just blew up a giant skull instead. But anyway,
shout out Eric Oxford.
I played with these two talented musicians, this amazing composer, Mackenzie Stubert, and then this harpist, Jackie Ehrlich. So I was accompanied with harp and accordion, and I was playing like distorted guitar, and I was like, this is fun.
Whoa.
That's
so
cool.
I'm like kind of like branching out into like, I'm just going to play with weird combos of musicians.
That's the beauty of your music, though, because and I wanted to make this comparison earlier when we were talking about your earlier albums to like your more band-centric albums. Your songs stand alone on their own, like just with you and a guitar. So like you having a band, it's great. It like complements it and it's beautiful and has this production. But then you can strip all that stuff away and just have these beautiful songs. Very Neutral Milk Hotel of you. The performance that you just did with like an accordion. You need a saw player.
Oh yeah. I a long time ago I did play with someone who had a saw. That was really freaking cool. Yeah, no, like I love Neutral Milk Hotel. That is like a huge influence on me. So thank you for the comparison. I'm definitely like, I feel like a lot of times when I say things I'm inspired by, like people can't actually hear it in the music. But I would say like a lot of Neutral Milk Hotel, a lot of Bob Dylan, Bjork, Devo.
Devo for sure.
Yeah.
Joanna Newsom, even.
Talking Heads a little bit on the new
Talking
album.
Heads, yeah. Fleetwood I guess Fleetwood Mac, but no. Fleet Foxes.
Yeah.
And like
you should open for them.
Beatles. Oh, thank
the
you.
Beatles.
I would love to. I will say this was really funny. So Tommy, who we were talking about earlier, he recently his
please Grodius.
his significant other like showed him Beatles for the first time.
Oh wow.
Hey.
And he was like, "Hey Kali, this sounds a lot like your music."
Yep.
Do you know the compliment
I greatly inspired them. Yeah, they were heavily influenced by me.
I was just like that. That's
my music transcends time.
Yeah.
I was like, well, now you found me out. That's just a bunch of Beatles chords and stuff. I would say, yeah, my music's a heavy influence of all the things I mentioned, but also video game music and Beatles. Like chords I learned from learning video game songs.
You could take a lot of your music off your most recent album, Long Live the Loser, and just instrumental, and it could be video game music, 100%. I mean, instrumental too, but like vocals you can throw them in, but it could be video game music, 100%.
I would love to do, if any video game people watch this retroactively.
That'd be a cool video game character. You like navigate different parts of LA. Factory level.
Indie musician. Like you start at the Smell in LA in like 2012.
I worked at the Smell when I was a teenager.
Did you really?
I worked the door. Yeah, I would stamp hands.
That is a legendary but atrocious venue.
Oh yeah, I mean there was always like dead rats. I remember. So I think I had a band it was like the time between high school and college or first year of college. Jim Smith, who owns the Smell. I had a band with this guy, Joseph Gusti. I don't remember. I met him at the Smell, but anyway, we were the first people he entrusted keys to, and we got to practice in the Smell during the daytime because we didn't have a practice space.
Smell.
And it smelled even worse during the day, and you'd have to move the dumpster out of the way to get to the gate to open it, and there'd always be human excrement in front.
It's a feature.
Dumpster door.
It's awful.
In a video game, that's your starting level, and then you slowly get like, oh hey, we got sound panels and like acoustic treatment, and then you know how you level
we literally
up?
would get like old newspaper out of the dumpster to like lift the poop, so it wouldn't be.
That's how Jim locked the door extra. It's like, I don't want to break into this place.
Poop everywhere. I mean, it is Skid Row.
Yeah, it's true.
Emphasis on Skid because of the skid marks on the cement.
All of LA is Skid Row now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to work at Warner Music Group, and that was
in Burbank.
No, their LA office in the old Ford factory. So I worked for Warner Chappell in their legal office.
Okay.
And that's a whole, I don't want to talk about it. That's a whole thing. But like, I'd take the train up 2 days a week, and then you'd get on the shuttle, and it was like just down past every terrible place in the arts district. And then you're at this building, and they have like former Secret Service are like patrolling the entire outside of the building. It was crazy. But it was just so odd to see that disparity between like they were turning the old Nabisco factory into like luxury apartments.
It's a very bizarre. Again,
what a clown world we live in.
There's my band up here in Portland. My bassist is one of my best friends. His name is Jay. He's Cajun. He grew up in Louisiana and New Orleans, and he survived through Hurricane Katrina.
Shit,
that's one. And he has a theory on like, this is after we've imbibed on the seafoam colored herbals. So it comes
Kali
up
Kazoo.
That Kali Kazoo.
Yeah, there's definitely Kali Kazoo.
Kali Kazoo. That's the name. That's the sequel to Long Live the Loser. Kali Kazoo, and then you have Wiz Khalifa do
I like it.
Guest appearance on it.
Just anyone who has Kali in their name. Kali Yukis. Okay, continue. You were
Kali, we're high. And so the theory is like those that want to run the city, they are running the city, they allow the city to just devolve into this like hellscape of like the Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode. And then when things are so bad and the property prices have dropped so low, then they come up and they buy everything. Because he said that's what they did in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And not that I agree with it. I think it's a very fun thought. Not fun, but it seems
I don't agree with it. I think it's fun.
It's just capitalism.
It is.
It's, I will say, okay, so I was thinking about this. I keep bringing up Tommy, but I have so many good stories with Tommy. Like, you said that you worked at Warner Music Group. So they used to be, Warner Music used to be in Burbank, and we worked in that same building before they moved to downtown LA. Because we were working on Looney Tunes, so Tommy Meehan, he's like done a lot of scores for shows and stuff like that, but he was in between that kind of stuff, so he was editing on Looney Tunes cartoons, and I was the character designer, and we were just like hanging out outside, going on a walk, and we had for whatever reason, because we're in the Warner Brothers Music building, they gave us a Warner Brothers Music badge instead of an animation badge. So there were these kids that came up to us and were like, hey, we're like a band and we drove across the country and we're trying to connect. And we're like, okay.
That sucks, man.
And so they gave us their demo and we're like, no, we're oh, okay.
They were the Beatles.
It was the Beatles.
It was the Beatles.
It was Tom Petty, and I signed him on the spot.
I don't even remember. I remember Tommy listened to it. But it was a super group. They were just they were younger than us, and they thought that we looked important. I guess I don't know.
They're like, we can tell you're new here.
Yeah, exactly. But Tommy humored them because he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll check it out." That's
really sweet of him. That's super, because you usually get laughed out or escorted out of the building in those cases.
It's funny because you're like, you just give them false hope, and they're like, "Oh, that guy said he's gonna check him out," and then it's like, now they're like, "That motherfucker's in GWAR now. What the fuck? He didn't listen to our music.
He stole our songs."
Yeah, exactly.
Our band name is Grodius Maximus.
Our onstage penis that ejaculates blood was our idea. Right. That was always GWAR. Always GWAR. I would love to go to a GWAR show.
They came to California with.
Yeah, no, it's very. I mean, I guess it makes they don't know. What do they know? They just look up where the record is.
a solid audience at your home,
then
you don't bother coming to LA. Don't even if you do have a solid audience, don't do it. If you're good, they'll find you. They're like they look.
I will say that's what sucks about having grown up and always playing in LA is that there's a lot of talent out here. So it's very rough. Like it's been interesting to see that musician who I only became aware of like when everyone else became aware of a couple of months ago, Chapel Roan.
Oh yeah,
who had been plugging away for like 10 years and been living in LA for years, and even like last year there's footage of her singing her songs that she now plays to like hundreds of thousands of people, playing it to like 3 people in a park.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck.
Shout out her break. She finally responded to those emails from the people who will boost your Instagram. Like that's all it took.
That's it.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
I mean, all it took was that she got whoever got like found out about her and had her open for Olivia Rodrigo and other people that are big. Right. That was all it really takes, is just getting a bigger audience.
I guess Olivia Rodrigo's producer produced The Rise and Fall of Midwest.
Oh, okay.
And he had known about her in the past, and then like she built, like you were saying, to the point of like building up your own business and your own audience and just working on your craft. Like she's plugging away, like you said, for 10 years. This is my question for you, because I'm at this point, like I've been doing the music thing for 15, 20 years, and I'm never going to stop. It's just fun. It's good for me. It's good for the soul.
Same here.
And you're so multifaceted in your like art output. What is your relationship with music as far as like, is it like an itch you have to scratch? Is it what is your drive?
Oh, that's a good way to put it. It is an itch I have to scratch, because it's like it's the best way to express myself other than art. And sometimes I would say sometimes art is a great way to express yourself in ways that you can't verbally. And then obviously music is a way to do that with words if you choose. But I think it's like a lot of pent up whatever energy, like feelings. I don't want to say angst because it makes me sound like an 18-year-old, but somewhat. Angst shouldn't just be for kids.
Yeah, it's not just for,
it's for everyone.
Tricks. It's not tricks.
Yeah,
Leo.
But I grew up with parents who were very they just liked really good music, so I was always surrounded by really good music. So my dad would play songs and play music to me. He introduced me to things that like Bob Dylan or like punk music and stuff like that. So there was, I was just getting access to a lot of things that maybe some people wouldn't have access to till they're older and found it themselves. So I was lucky in that way, where I was just encouraged to, be musical.
Yeah, drinking from the source.
Yeah.
When did you start writing?
I think I started writing songs when I started learning guitar, so around like 9 years old.
Wow.
And they were pretty bad.
Hey. Not, you don't know that, Are they are they on
That's
that cassette tape player that you're recording?
I have a cassette. So I don't have all my cassettes. Some of them got lost, just years of moving and stuff.
So long as they exist.
I have an album I wrote when I was 11, and I love the name. I've always wanted to repurpose the name. It was called, the album was named after the title track on the tape cassette, which was Lonesomeness with a Suitcase.
Ooh.
Lonesomeness with a Suitcase.
That's what I wrote when I was 11. I knew nothing.
That is so deep and beautiful. You obviously knew the world. You've experienced. You've lived multiple lifetimes.
Murder.
Man,
is I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like a Prine song.
Yeah,
like a John Prine 1970s like unreleased album.
It is very. I mean, I am very glad I went through all those weird phases of weird music, because then I just to age myself, then in high school I had a new metal band.
Hell yeah. Like,
all right,
like first wave new metal. Like, are you talking like Korn and Limp Bizkit, or are you talking about like Linkin Park? What are we?
Yeah, probably like Linkin Park era.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no. It wasn't by choice. That was what the people I met wanted to play. So that was like, well, I want to be in a band.
Yeah.
So I'll just musical journey.
Take a song I wrote.
We all fuck with new metal at some point.
You got to pay your dues to sing the blues, Callie. Yeah.
I wrote a song called Hell A.
Called what?
Hell.
Stop the podcast.
Hell A.
It's so good.
L.A., but hell. Hey. I like that I broke you with that. Oh my God. I mean, if that's not the most new metal thing you've ever heard, then I don't know what is.
I am so addicted. I will doom scroll new metal bands on Instagram for hours because I have a deep love for them. Hell A.
Oh, I didn't even tell you our band name.
Oh no!
Oh, please do.
Lose it. I'm gonna turn my mic off
because it was definitely like of that time of like. Is desperately seeking medical attention. So for sure, DSMA. Well, and our other song titles "Freedom to Die." That was written by the guitar.
Who was there on January 6th with a title like that? No,
he actually ended up being the production manager on The Simpsons.
Well, damn.
So there you go.
I learned a hell a lot of that last. Damn, Hell A. That's Leo. So fire, Callie. That's the most fire name of a song. I wish I could steal it. I'm gonna cover it. Do you have are these songs available anywhere?
I hope not.
They should be. I
think there used to be a website way back when called mb3.com.
Yeah.
You could upload your music to it. So at some point it was on the internet. Not anymore.
I'm gonna LimeWire that stuff. There's the way back machine. They have this thing where you can try to find.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
and the MySpace server lost all of our good music. You remember the MySpace days?
Oh, I had a MySpace music page for my country band, which was the first time I ever used the moniker Kali Kazoo. It was Cotton Katie in Kali Kazoo, which was she was another cartoonist. That I met while working with John Kay and all that. And we would do country covers. And that was a precursor to another country band I had with Rob Schraub's wife, Kate Freund, which was called The Get Back Gang.
The Get Back Gang.
The Get Back.
I like that.
And for a while, we were always opening for different comedy and musician acts around LA, like Birthday Boys and Tim Heidecker and all sorts of stuff.
Tim Heidecker.
But then we just stopped. I think we stopped right before the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. The pandemic stopped a lot of things.
A casualty. Horrible.
How did things change through the pandemic for you?
I mean, I went from having a band to not having a band.
Oh, are you a solo act now?
I mean, I guess kind of. Like I mentioned earlier, now I'm just playing with whoever. I will say my lead guitarist, Mike Adams, he moved away during the pandemic, and that was like put the final nail in the coffin. I lost my drummer to cancer Christ.
Wait, before you said Christ, I was gonna be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You said I lost my drummer to cancer. Christ.
Damn you, Sweat Band Records.
Yeah, no, but I think it could still. I love the drummer I got for my last album. He is from this amazing band called Kui, like Q-U-I, if you want to look them up. He is like a studio musician that always works with Toshi, and he is fucking amazing and so nice. And I was like, would you ever consider like playing with me? And he's like, yeah. So like he did like some live performances with me on my show, the Kali Kazoo show last year. Mm-hmm. But I do want to hit him up and be like, yeah, come play drums. But I do. Yeah, I don't really have a band. I don't have a practice space anymore, and I don't really have a band. But I could figure it out. I don't know.
You were able to figure it out before. You could figure it. You figured it out when you wrote Hell A.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, that's kind of genius. You can't make that up.
I mean, I did though.
No, good point.
I am the only show I definitely have on the books is coming up for a while. January 2025. Oh, that hurts to say that out loud. 2025.
We're almost there.
That hurts my brain. I'm going to be playing like a fun like a combo show of the Kali Kazoo show, but then also a live performance of my whatever iteration of my band I come up with at that point. But it'll be me presenting Ego Plum, who's this amazing composer and musician who has his own band and all that in his own right. We're going to be talking about his music, and then he's going to be performing live with his band, and there's going to be marionettes. I don't know if you guys know about the Bob Baker Theater, but it's a marionette theater. It's going to be weird, but they've been opening it up to having like shows there. Like Ty Siegel's playing like an acoustic show there next month, so I was like, I think they're trying to go in that direction. So we were planning this show, and I was like, yeah, I want to do I want to do more shows, and I want them to be weird. So marionettes.
You're gonna get it. Yeah. You're gonna get the weirdness.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, that's the thing. I think I'm over the traditional idea of a band. Because like I feel very Bjork in that sense. Like she was in like the Sugar Cubes, and she did the whole band thing, and then she's like, I'll just do whatever and play with whoever. And every time you'd see her live, she'd like have an accordion player and a drummer, or maybe she'd have an electronic drummer and a bassist or whatever. Like it didn't matter. Like it's about the songs, and it doesn't really matter.
About the songs.
Yeah.
I think it takes the stress off of like needing to tour too. It sounds like, because you're playing per show and rehearsing per show, and it changes every time.
It is expensive.
Yeah,
everything's expensive.
Yeah, maintaining a band is so expensive. Yeah, and you have the songs. You have the great songs that could be with whatever iteration that they're going to be in within the context of a traditional band, or if it's accordion player.
I appreciate
or bass player.
You saying that.
100%. I'm not blowing seafoam up anyone's volcano.
Damn, Leo.
Where does the seafoam go?
Into the void.
Into the ether.
As my friend he's like what is that called? Like a symbolism teacher or expert, whatever. Kali in Hinduism. That's where Kali comes from. She represents the void, which is why she's typically painted black, because she's the nothingness. She's the potential of everything and anything and nothing.
At the same time. Ooh,
yeah.
So
there you go.
Dualistic and beautiful.
The void, Kali. Oh,
damn.
Also, I will say, can I just say, if I do become, popular out in the world, all the other Kalis that have become famous, because there's now a couple of them, none of them have that on their birth certificate. They all adopted that name, but my actual name is Kali.
It's not short for anything, just straight up.
Just Kali.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then you could sue them for...
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, take them for all they're worth.
Take it.
This show is your ticket there.
Yeah.
This is it.
So
we're gonna
sue my way to the top.
We're gonna dig up some. Well, we talk shit on Disneyland a little bit.
I love Disneyland though. Can I?
I love Disneyland. Yeah.
I love Disneyland.
I love Disneyland. Don't come after us.
I love Disneyland.
The House of Mouse. May it ever thrive.
Stop.
Hey, I'll do a collaboration with Disney. I don't care. I'll sell my soul.
Yeah. The soul. I mean, if it existed, I would sell it for sure.
Sure.
What makes you think they'll buy it? What makes you think they'll buy your soul?
Oh, they will. They're struggling right now. Disneyland is it seems kind of janky right now, according. So they need some souls.
Be Gone Green. What's that green? Is that what it's called?
Be Gone Green?
It's the one where, like, when they don't want people to notice something, they paint it a certain shade of green.
Oh,
it's almost seafoam, but it's not.
Really?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What the heck?
That was their inspiration.
I mean, but that's the thing. Seafoam is very of nature. The sky, the ocean, just peaceful.
Has the sky ever been seafoam?
Sure.
Oh, 100%.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Can I'd try. I don't bring this.
Maybe in the morning.
Come up to Oregon, bro.
Morning.
I'm colorblind, so like, we're
talking about seafoam, and you're just like picturing purple, and you're like, I guess.
Don't know. Probably not. I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. Oh my god.
Anyway, I mean, I wore my green shirt tonight.
Your green shirt. That is purple.
Is it lavender?
Lavender, yeah.
Lavender?
Is that lavender?
I can see color. I can't.
Now we're finding out that you're color. I think only men can be colorblind. It has something to do with the Y chromosome.
Yeah. Honestly, they deserve it.
No, because it's on the X. Women are carriers.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's not on
the Y. It was only men. Why did I think
No,
that?
because I was reading, there's very specific circumstances. It's extremely rare, but women can be colorblind.
Wow.
But like, it would have to be like, because my sons are
I just thought of an example historically of someone that was colorblind that was a woman.
Who?
Helen Keller.
Oh, okay.
Shut up.
Wait, no, she was blind. Motherfucker.
Sorry.
Wait, but do blind people see colors?
No.
What do they dream of?
Yeah. I mean, but like, we don't know what. Maybe they see some sort of, because there's different levels of blindness. Because like, I do know that like Ray Charles could see light.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Or some musicians have, what is it called, synesthesia, where they can
where they see colors.
Yeah.
Let's get Stevie Wonder on the show.
Yeah. Let's be less ableist. You know what's funny? Let me try to be less ableist. Yeah.
We probably could get him on. I'll just run into him at NAMM. No.
Stevie Wonder played in North Corona Community College, RCC. In the little, this is true. Bringing it back to Corona. I didn't go, but my wife, girlfriend at the time, said she saw. Or no, never mind. It wasn't her.
So you guys both have wives. Do you guys often say, my wife?
Oh, no. All the time. Well, no, because in order to keep her from not being my wife, I need to stop saying it. Because
there you go.
She's like, please stop saying that.
Elena would never get that reference. She'd be like, why are you saying that? She's never seen Borat. Why are you saying that to me? I don't know, honey. I guess it's not funny.
I guess it is dated too, but you know.
It's coming back. There's a guy who's made his entire Instagram platform, and he just does Borat. And I'm like, wow. Like I was 10 years too early and 10 years too late, I guess. Kurt, you met Ricky last week. Ricky Garvey.
I did. Ricky Garvey
has a joke. I used to play in a band with Ricky Garvey, and he played at the reunion show last week. And his joke was, he's like, "Oh man, I love Borat, but you know who else really loves Borat?" And you say it. I don't know
who else really loves Borat.
My wife.
Oh my god! Wait, whoa! You haven't said what is your band?
Oh, so my old band is called Castle Pines, and we were a band for 10-ish years, and we released. We just hit our 10-year anniversary of one of our albums called Summer Blood, and we played a reunion show in Corona, California at Rockefeller's, and it was awesome. And there was a lot of friends, big old family reunion. Our drummer had gone through health problems. He had ulcerative colitis. He almost died. He had some of his intestines removed, yada yada. So I had to get sober. I stopped doing the band. I moved to Oregon, got sober, and didn't really do anything. Started another band up here, but always kind of felt like we didn't have like a cherry on top of the end.
What's your band up there?
The band up here is called Breezy. Breezy the band.
Breezy. Oh, that's why I saw that pop up on my Instagram, liking things today.
Yeah, I was just
there. You go.
I was creeping on you for the last 2 days. I was like, like it.
It's always like when you see like someone discovers you, and it's just like this thing likes this thing, likes this thing.
It was very. It wasn't disingenuous. I was like, oh, I'm gonna check out Kali Kazoo because we're gonna be interviewing, and then I went down the rabbit hole of like, you are an incredible musician, incredible songwriter, but you are probably like one of the world class animator and illustrator. Like it's so good. I went deep down in there. I really liked some of your more like quirky, violent stuff, which I wanted to say some of your music lyrically and musically, I love the juxtaposition of like really dark, like themes with like fun, happy music.
Oh yeah. No, I'm glad that you picked up on that. Cause that's kind of the way I can sneak in those feelings. Like, don't be worried. I'm not going to do something crazy, but these are sometimes thoughts that I have.
Yeah. Which is so humanizing because I feel like we all have those thoughts. And when you have someone like someone put it into a song that's tangible and you can like relate to it, you're just like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not crazy.
I was just actually reading a thing about, because we talked about the void a little while ago, and this connects to this. But apparently all humans have evolved to have this thing, and they referred to it as the call of the void. So say you're up on a bridge and you look over, and for like a split second you want to like jump off, or you not want to, but you have the image of it happening.
Yes,
and it's to protect you from doing it.
Yeah, this has come up on the show before. Like, parents experience it with their babies, where they're just through it, and it's your brain. It's testing your impulse control.
Yeah,
so, like, you don't actually want to do that,
right? It's like it's showing you a possibility of like, oh, if you fuck up, this is what will happen.
Yeah. And so it's like, what a cool thing to evolve. That's not our monkey brain.
It's a great thing to have. And oh my God, just knocking the microphones over here. It's a great thing to have in the back of our brains for impulse control, because it's also survival of the fittest, if you will. Because if you see like an influencer doing the same thing on the edge of a canyon, then they fall and kersplat.
Didn't that just happen?
It happens often. And
God. I see those like videos sometimes on Instagram where like you see like it's like security camera of the street, and a guy like grabs someone's phone out of their hands and runs, and then gets hit by a bus immediately. It's because they weren't looking, because they were trying to like.
No.
Like, I hope it was worth it. That impulse
very much wasn't. Is that an impulse? I've got to steal some guy's phone.
I guess.
Then run into traffic.
Extreme kleptomania.
Too much to find me true love.
Thank you for noticing that in my music, that there is a darkness, which I like that's even like the cover of the third album is kind of like nodding its hat to that, going like everything's seafoam and pink and cuddly, but also Cthulhu.
Yeah. Well, some of the most important works of like timeless works of art in any medium play with like themes of human emotion that are hard to talk about. When you can put it in a way that's like easily digestible. Bob Dylan was great. You mentioned Bob Dylan earlier. Bob Dylan was great at it. The Beatles played it.
I'm a Loser. That was a big influence on my album, because like Long Live the Loser.
Yeah.
Because I love that idea of the loser, because there'd be points in time. So like when I wrote the title track song, there was actually a whole section of that song that got edited out because we were just trying to make the song more poppy or whatever. But that song was like a very low point where I was just upset at people that were, which is a very human thing to do, like upset at like not being as successful as someone else, or things not going well compared to someone else. So that's why it's like long live the loser and her unhappiness, death to the winner and his best friends.
Yeah.
It's just like that sort of feeling of like feeling left out and also being hurt, and then seeing people online like celebrating, like, and all of the online stuff, whatever, people are never as happy as they look, or maybe they are, who knows.
That's the curse of social media. Like, being an influencer just sounds like a freaking nightmare. So
that's why I was like, content. Long live the loser. Long live you who has nothing, or feels like you have nothing, or nothing is worthwhile. Like, good job to you.
I love writing about like the mundane. Like, I don't I can write music all day long. I can write poems all day long. I can't put the two together. I just can't figure it out.
Really?
Personally, there's a disconnect for me. And if I try to add music to my poems, or if I try to write words to my music, it feels disingenuous and false. Like, some reason I separate them. But like, I love writing poems. I think the best song I've written, which I never released, but it's about going to the DMV.
Wait, why haven't you released if it's your best song?
Oh, I've heard this song.
Yeah.
It's great. I was bumping to it.
I just need to send it out for mastering. So I still take guitar lessons, and my guitar teacher, he does mastering, all sorts of stuff. And so I was like, hey, Larry, what do you think? He goes, you still got to do this and this and this. So with him, I'm in the perpetual editing phase, but I'm like, I gotta just put it out there. But
you just gotta do it, because things can always be better. But so if you have that mentality, you'll never amount to anything.
I know. And the funny thing is, like, the tagline to our show is, it doesn't have to be good, it has to exist.
There
and
you
so
go. Yeah.
when we first started, we were all about writing songs in under 45 minutes.
Okay.
And so like the first 10 episodes were with, some of our friends and just
Yeah.
writing whatever crap song we could. Some are pretty good, but and it just putting it out there, and then it got too difficult to release a song over Zoom, and it just turned into interviews and stuff. But like I love writing about the mundane because everyone can kind of relate. I just wrote a poem about some guy waiting in line after like a 12-hour shift, and he sees this cookie at the end of the cafeteria line, and he's like so excited for this cookie, and it's the last chocolate chip cookie, and then this woman like grabs it, and she's like, I already paid, sorry, and she takes off, and he's just like, oh shit. Like it's just this disappointment, and it's a good poem.
I read that in a Panera, and I was like, whoa, this is so meta.
We've all felt it, but
you got the death lemonade.
Oh, people really died from that thing. I worked at Panera when I met my now wife. I was a Panera. I made sandwiches, but and I used to back then. This was like 2009, 10.
Wait, do you guys have children?
We do not. We have fur babies.
Oh, okay, I was about to say your first child could be named Panera, but continue. Okay.
Or Pan and Era.
Yeah, Panera.
Pan after the god of whatever
silliness.
That's me. I'm a silly little guy.
Yeah, it wasn't Pan. Okay. So 10 years ago, Panera.
Oh, it was just great. You'd be able to take home all the cookies. But I did witness love inside of a Panera. So it was a strange. When I read your poem, Kurt, I was like, oh, they didn't fall in love.
That's a name of a poem. There. Love inside a Panera.
Love inside of Panera.
Copyright, trademark, whatever.
Panera sucks now. I don't know if you've been back recently.
Not that great
it used to be
ever.
My original point was like I appreciate how relatable your music is.
Oh, thank you.
Like that's what I was trying to get to, but I'm happy to talk about Panera Bread. But like it's just a fun listen. I love that. I drive in the car and I don't read the lyrics as I'm driving. But like, I love reading the lyrics, and I don't know.
Reading and driving, not recommended.
You're very good at what you do.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that means a lot, especially from people that write music and stuff like that. It always is very like humbling and sweet to hear when someone actually like relates to and connects with you. Because I think that's the whole idea. You're expressing yourself, so you're doing it for yourself, but you put it out into the world to connect with other people. Yeah, you could just make it and then never release it, but that's just for you. But it's to connect with everyone around you. Like
that's true. Then just throw it to the wind.
Yeah,
we're here so briefly. Like life goes by so fast, and if you have the ability, like you do, to write great songs, like I think it's not just important, but like it's almost necessary. Like it's that itch you gotta scratch. You gotta get these things out there and connect.
I know I'm gonna just keep scratching it. Although it definitely there is this weird like counterintuitive negative thought in the back of my head where I'm like, the older I get, and as a woman, it's just like less value. I'm less valuable to society.
Here in capitalism pokes its ugly head in again in the conversation.
What is the hillbilly elegy guy I've been saying? Like,
childless
cat lady.
There's a whole people are selling shirts of like childless cat lady shirts with like this cute little cat. Embrace it.
Apparently, women without children are some of the happiest of their demographic.
Dude.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I totally believe it.
We're dumb. Men are dumb, dude. We are not.
You
could avoid us. We are not that great.
Full honesty. I was like, Callie's gonna come on the show. It's just me, Leo, and maybe Adam. Like, let's see if we can get Monica back on just for this episode, because like we're not. I don't think we're the brightest hosts, Leo.
No.
Wait, so you have another host, but then there also was a female host at one time, and she evolved out.
She evolved.
She was our fact checker, so she literally was the intelligence check on us. and she had to step away. She's like pursuing a master's degree. She has 2 girls.
She's like, I'm very important.
She's very
I don't
busy.
need to be.
No, but we miss her. She's always welcome back. I'm like, we can't do like a research thing anymore because we're just gonna be wrong. In fact, some guy got me on in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Their name is consider it shipped. They say hell and loneliness in a suitcase is honestly incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Regarding the Disney green, go away green, they said it's what all their fences are painted, so it's easy to run over with your eyes. And then the color blindness, both parents would have to have a recessive X gene of color blindness. So like if I had a daughter and I had, gave her the X that had the color blind, and then if my wife was a carrier, all of our children would be colorblind.
Interesting.
And then with the man, they only need one recessive X.
Who's in the chat?
Oh, okay,
Bill
that's
Nye,
what
the
it is.
science
So it's just easier for So we do have someone in the.
If Bill Nye was watching our show,
I took a selfie with him once, and he was very like, Okay, so it was I was backstage at the Creative Arts Emmys. Not a very important Emmys award show, but whatever. Bill Nye was there, and I was hanging out with Ryan Ridley, who I don't know if you guys know him from Rick and Morty and all that.
Oh yeah.
But
not Bill Nye.
We're like, look, it's Bill Nye, and we're Ridley's girlfriend was with us too, and we're like, can we take a selfie with you? So it was me, Ridley, and his girlfriend, and he was like, all right, I'm going to hold the camera now. Don't look at yourself on the image. Look at over here where the actual lens is. Now, everyone, 3, 2, 1, look at the lens.
Wow.
It was just very like, do as I say. I'm doing it correctly or not.
That was a very good Bill Nye impression because that's how the show was.
He's like, consider the following. Don't look at the screen.
Yeah, it was literally like just directing us, and we're like, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
We knew that, but I still feel like I learned something.
I did learn something. We're all idiots. Although apparently newer iPhones, they kind of create them so that you can look at yourself on the. I don't know.
Do they? Oh,
I think it's like trying to compensate for the fact that everyone looks at the image, not the lens.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Leo, what'd you do, man?
What happened?
I can't hear you, Leo. He messed with his settings. This happens. All right, hold on, Leo.
Wait, say something?
Nope. You ain't coming through, man. You're muted.
All I hear is my air conditioning vent rattling.
Yeah. Oh, that's you too. Mine too. Okay. I got no. Your microphone came disconnected.
There we go. There we go. No.
There you go. We can hear you.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey, you so Scarlet too. Nice.
The new MacBooks are all USB-Cs.
Yeah.
And my Scarlet interface is not. So I have a little adapter, and like I was laughing at some because this is just a frivolous fun group, and I hit my laptop and it shut everything off.
Oh.
And I just wanted to say how cool it was that you saw Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, no,
Bill,
that was. I mean, there was. I saw a lot of. There was a Star Trek reunion, which we already established you guys don't care about.
But, you didn't say we didn't care.
What was it? It was 2018, so it was like I don't remember the number of how many years it was, but they had like William Shatner was there, LeVar Burton, 7 of 9 lady, Jerry Ryan, like a bunch of people. And it was cool, and Bob Saget right before he died.
Oh, Bob.
He was in Star Trek?
That was really sad.
He was just there.
I don't know why when you said 7 of 9 lady, I thought of John and Kate plus 8, and I was like, why are they there?
7, 8, 9.
Were they canceled?
8. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, one of them, right? A lot of those shows. Yeah, they're like
a lot of those. What's the religious one where they got like 50 children?
Yeah, and they
50 and counting, 70,000 and counting.
70,000 counting. Yeah.
What is that?
They're doing some nefarious things.
The Duggars.
Yes, that's what it was. Gross.
Yeah, their name literally sounds like we shouldn't be saying it.
19 kids and counting. Yeah, like the oldest son was like preying on his siblings and stuff.
But the dad knew.
I mean,
but he's a godly man, so he had to conserve faith and faith.
If the Habsburgs can do it, I'm sorry.
It's rough.
And the rich do it. I'm not making a case. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make a case for this at all.
I was gonna say, how long is this show?
How long do you want it?
As long as you want. It could have ended 30 minutes ago, Kali.
Really I had questions, but like,
you have questions? Okay, let's go rapid. Spit them out.
Shit. Hold on. Now we're back to the problem. Me reading my own writing again.
You gotta just type this shit.
It's just like, well, I didn't know. I could have. But
I've been thinking about this all day off of Long Live the Loser.
Yeah.
You do this a lot. What holy tempo change, Batman.
Yeah,
that's what I want to say. You do a lot of tempo changes, but in a way that's so seamless and fun.
Way. Thank you.
I normally hate a tempo change.
I don't remember it's on Don't Give Up in general or.
Oh, we do it on a few. Probably do it on most of the songs.
Yeah. There's one where you go into you're just normal 4/4, and then you go into this like waltzy 3/4 6/8.
Oh, yeah, that's Don't Give Up in general.
That's the one. Yeah. That's probably my favorite song on the album.
Because I wanted it to sound kind of like
waltzy
circusy.
Yeah, it's so good, but it's not like. How did you record that? Like,
did.
We just did it, dude.
We did this thing,
which is that good,
so that it's all exact and there's a click track. He does this thing where he does a whole click mapping of the whole song. So I do a rough with the drummer live, and then based off that, then he kind of sets it so that he knows exactly what the click track should be, and then we play to the click track. If that makes sense.
Oh, that's cool. You said
so it's all mapped out, and there's parts where I think in the song Another Life we speed up and speed down even. He wrote that into the click track, so the click track would he would do that in our ear. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Which definitely helps.
That's wild that he didn't have. So you guys recorded your scratch tracks, like you playing with the drummer, and
just
then
so that he could hear what it would sound like.
And then he mapped it out.
Yeah, mapped it out on Pro Tools or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah.
So from your first album to your most recent release, how is your songwriting process? Has your songwriting process changed at all?
I don't think so. It's mostly I do two things. So a lot of times now, since having an iPhone, which is the last, however many years, I'll in my notes program, I'll have like one sentence ideas that I'll later bring into my lyric book and be like, okay, I'm gonna just keep writing after this one thought. It's kind of like it's just like a topic starter kind of thing for my brain.
I see.
So that's what I'll do for lyrics, and then when I'm writing riffs, I'll write riffs, and then I'll just go through all my lyrics until it kind of fits mathematically. So that's why sometimes songs will get parts of them taken out and put into other songs, because it's like, oh, it doesn't fit, but I like what I wrote, but it doesn't fit within this song with this riff that I have.
That's freaking chaos, dude.
I love that.
That's wild.
Is it?
Well, Kurt, you're very mathematical and very meticulous about how you approach things. I don't think every songwriter has the same. You mentioned this with Clem on Outlaw Engineer Painted Pioneer, how you had that kind of thing for a while, it was just in the back of your head.
I was a kid. You
had that riff, and then it had to ripen on the vine.
And then when I sometimes I'll have whole other chords for these songs or whole other sets of lyrics. So a good example of that would be on the newest album, Falling Forever. That song musically has existed since the first album, but I wasn't good enough at playing guitar to play it and sing at the same time, and it had different lyrics, and the lyrics weren't very good. But I always just kept that riff in the back of my mind. I was like, this riff is good. And as I got better at playing guitar, I was like, I'm gonna fucking finish this stupid song. And then it was the last song I wrote for the album. I wrote it was the newest song on that album, Long Live the Loser, I think, is Falling Forever, because it was just newest as in the lyrics were new, but
I see what you mean.
The chords are very old.
You had the music, you didn't have the words quite there.
Yeah, and I kept like there was even I think when I was recording demos for the second album, contrary to popular belief, all my albums are a mouthful.
Love it.
Just gonna keep going with that.
It's a full meal.
I think it was like what was that band from that same time period we were talking about earlier that had a big effect on me? And you will know us by the Trail of Dead.
Oh
just like
yeah.
The
Godspeed you, Black Emperor.
Philanthropist Fiduciary Conference. Why?
Or what was it Pink Floyd's Momentary Lapse of Reason?
There you go.
Anyway, it was also a demo on that. I think the original name was Rope and Ride. Like it was like about cowboys and stuff. It didn't work. And I was just not, talented enough to do it. Not that I'm saying I'm, I'm more experienced.
You built your chops.
Yeah.
You didn't have the skill to meet the vision in your head.
Yeah, and not the way I wanted it. Yeah. I will say that's the nice thing about, getting more experience with art and music is that I'm getting closer to what I can hear and see in my head.
Ooh.
There you go.
Because a lot of times it's just I'm not capable, like can't attain it.
You built up your toolkit.
Yeah. And I mean, and also just like working with cool musicians. Like I love all the albums I've worked. Like so, Tommy was a big integral part of the first album. The second album, Max Winston, who's an amazing stop motion animator, and he was like the drummer of the Manx. He's just like an amazing drummer who was very unique, and so like a lot of that album is going off of like his cool drum beats. And then the third album was him, me, and my bassist Anthony Venturi, who joined, and it was very like rock bandy for that. And then the fourth album is a lot more like even Toshi. I remember he like when we were recording, he's like, "This is a lot more singer songwriter for you," which I guess I hadn't done in a while since the first album, where it was truly just me being accompanied by musicians.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with either way. But where was I going with this? What was I saying? I just that like if whoever I'm playing with kind of affects it, And I like that the contributions that people make. Like I would say the major difference between this last album and the album before it. So the major difference between Long Live the Loser and Bleed Darker and Deeper Than the Seas of Hell is if you'll notice there's no lead guitar for the most part on the third album. Like there's a little bit from Toshi stepping in and doing some stuff. But Mike Adams, who started playing with my band right after we recorded the third album, so he's not recorded onto the album. So many songs from that album now, the way I hear them is how I play them live with Mike Adams. And he got to do the lead guitar on the new album, which I think he's like an amazing musician who I met, who he is like, he does a lot of jazz master stuff, like taking apart and building jazz masters, and he's written a lot for like Guitar World and Guitar Magazine, all that kind of stuff. Like he's a very technical guy, but he was just so good. And he saw us play in Long Beach where he was living at the time, and we connected. Like we both like Silent Hill 2 music and stuff like really weird shit. And I was like, we're just
Pyramid Head, isn't that one?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
But like we just connected over the weirdest things, and I was like, yeah, play with me. I want to lead guitars because I never approached my music as a band. It was always just like picking up stragglers. Like, come on. And now I've lost my stragglers, and now I have a harpist and an accordion player. I don't know.
Very
I'll do whatever.
Yeah, that's good. I have more of an entertainment industry kind of based question, but like, how has it changed for you in the last, like through before the pandemic till now? I guess we say post-pandemic, but COVID is still around. Like
it's like spiking right now.
Yeah.
My parents just had it. They're like, we think we have COVID. I was like, I'm pretty sure you have COVID.
Yeah, no,
I think you do.
It's been pretty hard because I I haven't adjusted to playing regular shows again. I want to. I definitely got to record one of my favorite albums, post pandemic or whatever. Um, but I think like the idea of touring and all that is, as much as I would like to do that, I think I'm like less driven to do that, just because
There's
I'm
less
like,
appeal of doing it.
yeah, I think it's, if there was a way to afford to do that, I would. But if all I can afford is to just make music and put it out there, then like that would be like the top priority, is to just create music. Even though obviously playing your music to people is the general idea that you want to do, but that's like taking a back seat for me personally, just because it's expensive.
Well, if you ever want to come up to Portland and play a show, let me know.
Hell yeah, I want to come up to. I mean, that's not too bad if I'm sticking to one side of the country.
Well, you could do, I mean, LA, and then you drive a couple hours. You can play Fresno.
San Luis Obispo, that's where my dad lives.
Perfect.
Yeah, no.
And the
Oakland.
people outside of the big cities, like LA, there's like a show every 2 blocks. Portland, there's a show every other door.
I played some weird places on one of our tours where, what was it? What's that inland place from San Francisco? Like deep in, like
Chico?
very druggy.
Like, Chico? Redding? Redding?
No.
Shasta?
Keep saying names. Just keep naming
Norwalk,
every city.
Modesto, Sacramento.
Maybe not Modesto. Modesto, but like Modesto, not
Norwalk.
Modesto. No, like higher up.
Methier?
Like so, directly inland from San Francisco.
All right, I'm pulling up a map.
We're gonna have to fact check this one.
Let's see.
California.
California.
Rest in peace. What a terrible song.
Oh, I love that song.
It's so catchy. It's so bad though.
Phantom Planet, baby. Song. The Schwartzmans.
Stockton.
It was Stockton.
Stockton. I
played one of my favorite shows in Stockton.
Because people are so hungry for music there. Like the bands don't stop there. It was
terrifying. Yeah, no, it's true. Bands don't stop there. It was terrifying. There was a lady walking around, I'm pretty sure with a baby carriage full of drugs. No baby to be seen. Yeah. But the audience was so like, like they just, the energy. Same with there was a great show we had in, was it San Jose? Yeah, San Jose. Like there's some great, I if anything, I should play more small cities instead of bigger places. Like I'm so used to LA where you're just nothing.
Yeah,
come down to
you're nobody.
It builds up that skin though, that thick skin.
That's true. My skin is just all callous.
Calloused Kali.
Kali
Kazoo.
Oh, that's too many K's.
That's one too many K's. Yeah, you gotta not you. Yeah.
I will say the one idea I had for a tour, if I do a tour, is called just the friend tour, where I literally just travel to anywhere where I can stay for free and get there in a cheap way.
Well, there you go.
So again, Portland probably is pretty.
Portland now. You got Portland.
Yeah, and we got some family nearby, so I was like, okay, that could happen.
And if you're in Portland, you might as well go to Seattle. It's like 2.5 hours away.
Exactly.
So
there you go. They got
hop,
a tour.
skip, and a jump.
But don't do Seattle, because Seattle is just like every other big city. You do Tacoma or Olympia, like a city right outside of Seattle, because the people are like, I want music. Give me the music.
Yeah, no, and Toshi might know some of it, because again, Melvins are from up there.
Mm-hmm. You play Pomona? Do you ever play down in Pomona? Like
I have not. I've played Long Beach a bunch, but not Pomona.
Okay.
And I played the House of Blues.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, and Anaheim?
Yeah, Anaheim.
Oh, yeah. Good.
My the guy that ran sound for us, he's an old friend of ours. His name's Matt Rubik. He's the new, or he's not new. He's been there for a couple of years. He's the production director at the House of Blues in Anaheim.
Nice. Yeah. And I know GWAR is going to be playing there. Tommy will be playing there. I think coming up soon.
That's going to be wild.
October. Yeah, I'm going to be. I'm definitely going to probably go, because I have yet to see him. Full regalia. Yeah. I could get sacrificed on stage.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Literally, you should take your album that you recorded with him and get blood on it.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna throw them out at the audience, and people will be like, get it away. I would. Some people have messaged me going like, "Oh, are you gonna do another vinyl?" And again, it's one of those things where I'm like, I would love to, but it used to be so much cheaper to get a vinyl.
Dude.
I would love to, and then I also have to house them.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's storage. It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
Merch is a lot. Yeah, you gotta have like you gotta take out a second mortgage.
I know and I'm so like I love the artwork on this new album so much. This is the first time I've had a photo since the first album, and the amazing photographer Parker Day, definitely look her up. Who's done a lot of amazing photos for musicians and comedians and artists and all sorts of cool people. She did it's actual photography, you know. And then it's a scan of my boyfriend's mom, like cross stitched my name. I had this just idea of like cross stitch around it. So it's all like a real, it's all real. Like none of it's like Photoshop. It's
That's
all
rad. Okay.
actual real photo and cross stitch.
Where did you get the dress?
I got that vintage place in Burbank, and it's like a vintage prom dress. And I just had this idea of like being like a hopeful, naive bride.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
the band that drove across the country to see if that you would sign them and gave you their CD.
Exactly.
Full of the light is still in their eyes.
Yeah.
This is what they were wearing.
Yeah.
They were...
And I like the night before I Googled how to make a veil, and I made a veil, and I made my bouquet. And I'm wearing, because then I realized like, oh, I need a wedding ring, so I'm wearing the photographer's wedding ring. Parker
You're wearing
Day's
an
ring.
actual wedding ring?
Yeah, her ring, not mine.
There you go. You just bought one. No, it's just for the picture. Don't worry.
But
so did you press vinyl for this one?
No. So okay, the first two have vinyl. The third one has a tape cassette and CDs, and the fourth one has nothing currently. But hopefully, maybe something. I don't know.
Cassette.
Because I really this is the thing. If I have money, it's like I'm gonna have to choose either I get a vinyl made or I go on a tour.
Yeah.
Like I can't, or I make another album. There's limited.
There's new websites, and I've looked into a couple of them that they'll do print to order.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
For vinyl.
And it's like, yeah, but if you do go on tour, you want the actual tangibles so that you can sell them on tour.
Yeah.
So that's a tough one. But like, I feel like, you know, that the only reason I bring up the vinyl is because that would the artwork would look dope framed up on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And that album sounds so good on vinyl.
Thank you. Yeah, it would. I mean, even the third album, I was always sad that wasn't on vinyl too. It's done but tape cassettes are cool, but you know, almost no one has a tape player anymore.
There's a few,
I don't know. Gen Z's coming in hot with that old
they brought
technology.
Back Polaroids. They brought back like.
I will say, like, they're getting into CDs maybe right as computers don't have CD drives.
Yeah, they're getting into Junko jeans. They're wearing those again. We were driving through. And the frosted tips. We were driving through we were driving up the PCH coming home to Portland because we were just in Southern California, and we were at the stoplight, and there was like a group of like 3 or 4 teenagers, and they all had saggy, big, long shorts and Junko jeans on. Nice. And I was like, you could transport them directly from like a Limp Bizkit show in like 2001.
That's what I'm saying. There's nothing new anymore. Like there's no fashion that's new. There's nothing that you can be like, oh, this is 2024, other than like seeing someone hold an iPhone, and even that's getting pretty old at this point. Like there's nothing to differentiate. If you were watching a movie and it's like it takes place in 2024, it could take place in 2014. It could take place in 2004.
We're going right back to our capitalism conversation.
Yeah, like, it always comes back.
All the fancy stuff is not available to the consumer anymore.
Cthulhu capitalism.
Oh, jeez. But I need whoever's listening to this to listen to my music so that I can, join the capitalist revolution.
Yes.
You have a really healthy fan base. Like, you have a lot of followers.
I have like some I would say a small but powerful.
I would say so. And dude, this is 2 hours of material, and I'm gonna give this to my sister. She sits on the podcast too.
Oh, nice.
She'll do some editing, but she'll go through the episode and like pull clips and put together like 3 to 5 minutes of stuff that we can talk about this when we're done recording. But like yeah, this is as much for you as it is for us.
No, I appreciate it. I mean,
like,
it's the same that like again, like I keep talking about Chaperone just because she's on my mind lately. But like, see, cause now that she's like become viral and all that, like they cut to all these clips of her on these types of shows just like
Jon
a year
Stewart
ago
gave
or
her
2
a
years
shout
ago.
out.
That's gonna be you, Kali.
I hope so.
We're rooting for it.
Thank you.
We will share. We will. Yeah, we'd love.
yeah.
I've been very lucky with having a lot of really nice and talented people, like like we were saying, like the people that have been in my music videos or have shot my music videos, who are very kind and sweet and just give themselves to me for free to help promote myself. The amazing Madeline Zima directed my last music video, Falling Forever, and she's just an amazing actor and director and blah blah blah. And her sister Yvonne is the star of Black Wind, along with the amazing Kate Freund, who's Rob Shaw's wife, who I've mentioned before because I love her. And she's in a lot of my music videos, and she usually dies. Someone noticed, like one of my fans online noticed, like, why do you always kill Kate in your music videos? And I was like, I do always kill Kate.
She's the Sean Bean of the Kali Kazoo multiverse.
Basically. Yeah, no, it's weird because she dies at the end of Clem. She gets shot by me because I've turned into a gangster. And then she dies at the end of or I guess it's kind of implied that everyone dies in what is that? Hey Look, with all the dancers, the shadow men or whatever, or women. And then she dies in Take a Dive.
Yes.
Yeah.
By a cult leader. And then in Black Wind, she's the bad guy. And she also again dies. So,
You should do like a tribute to like the Twilight Zone episode with Burgess Meredith, where he's in the vault when the atomic bomb kills everyone.
Oh, and his glasses fall off.
Yeah, he's just left to read. You should do that with her.
That episode is called wrong. That episode's called Time Enough at Last for All. Or no. Oh, that's one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes.
It's such a good one. But yeah, you should do some call back to that episode where she's the only survivor.
I like that. Or I make her William Shatner on the plane.
Yeah, do that too.
On the wing.
I am working we're working on another music video. It's just like a lot more complicated. So I've been working on that with Nate Cornett, who I mentioned earlier, who shot my first music video. He shot my first music video and he shot Take a Dive. But he's never directed any of them. So it's gonna be a weird one. The only spoiler I'll give, which I think I posted an image on my Instagram but didn't explain it, but it may or may not involve Bob's Big Boy.
Oh,
but for legal reasons probably I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. It's
Robert's large child.
Yeah, there you go. You had it on the tip of your tongue. It's ready to
go. Get Drew Carey to partner on that one.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess that's Jeff
like
knows him.
That's his jam. That's his Bob's Big Boy. That's like his restaurant.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
that's
wild. He probably paid a lot of tabs last year.
My grandma, her whole life is like Glendale, Burbank area, and she's like, "We're going to Bob's like every month." They used to go to Bob's Big Boy all the time.
It's a good burger. Here, man. It's a great burger.
Wait, did you know that about him picking up the tab?
I did know about that.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, the writer's strike. He picked up the tab for everybody.
He's a good dude.
He's crazy.
Did that affect you, the writer's strike? Like,
kind of. I see. This is the thing. I'm in Animation Guild, and technically, we're about to either maybe go on strike or not. Our contract agreement goes up in like 2 weeks, and so I will find out. But it's been weird. A lot of our industry, like film, entertainment, whatever industry, has been like obviously AI, but outsourced.
Yeah.
So it's a lot cheaper to get stuff animated in India or Ireland or Korea or China or anywhere that isn't here.
The bottom line. cheaper. It's cheaper, man.
So yeah, it's definitely
musicians. We need.
I really gotta. This music career's really gotta take off. So.
Yeah.
Hey, they haven't figured out how to outsource that one yet, Callie.
Exactly.
Actually, K-pop's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone just listen to K-pop now. Like,
oh my God, K-pop, Kali Kazoo, K-pop. We just taking it back home. Red-blooded American. Yeah,
K-pop.
It's ours now.
Copyright circa 2024.
I feel like they have one of those fan bases where they could just destroy, like they can destroy entire governments, let alone like an individual.
Oh yeah,
decided to.
Yeah, like the Swifties.
I say they're the only group that can rival the Swifties.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. When you can get a fan base like that gets like they consolidate their effort to like. I think they bought up all the seats at like a Trump rally, and nobody showed up.
Right.
Pretty genius.
I love that. Yeah. The power of this little black box that we have.
I think I'm getting a little sleepy and delirious, so maybe we can...
Understood. Well, you've been a wonderful guest.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This was a blast.
Oh,
and
man,
learned so much from you. Got to talk about your awesome music.
I can't wait to play a show with you in Portland, Oregon.
Hey, anytime. Yeah. Anytime.
I will figure that out now.
Yeah, there's a couple places. There's a lot we can play in Portland, but there's a ton of places in Oregon. Yeah, if you come up this way, however, that if you go with your band or just do.
I'm trying to remember the venue because way back when I happened to be there for a wedding, and the Manx, Tommy's band that I keep bringing him up.
Yeah,
he just happened to be in town playing. I was like, I'm going to your show tonight, and he's like, I'm in Portland. I'm like, me too. But I forget where it was. But it was a nice little venue.
Portland's a fun town. There's a lot of like there's bigger venues. Yeah. Not to the scale of like LA's got big venues, but Portland has more of these intimate like venues that
which is better anyway.
And like good like Stephen Malcolmus from Pavement plays these like he just played this venue called Turn like a couple months ago. And it's one of those it's not like The Smell, but like kind of the same ethos.
There's human feces.
It's just built on human poo.
I was like, most of the time when like the last time I had a tour, it was all DIY punk places. You know,
but those are the best. Those are the
Green Room, the movie Green Room.
I never watched it. I don't think I could watch that.
That movie's rough.
And that's the guy that was in the Star Trek movies who got run over by his car.
It's so sad.
Oh yeah,
so sad. And on that note, no, we got on a better note.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, listen to Long Live the Loser. Let's get you some live shows, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, I will say I'm late to the game. I purposely did not join Apple and Spotify and Amazon and all that for years. I was very anti that, trying to like stick it to the man, but really it was sticking to myself. Yeah. So I joined very late. So I joined. So please follow me and like on all there and all that so that my numbers go up.
Yeah.
We're
part of the system now.
Yeah. We'll share all the social links and everything. So we'll push it. But stay on after I stop recording and just a couple things.
I just like explode.
I know.
Kelly, no.
Yeah, what is the camera I'm just falling.
You could green screen that seafoam.
Oh yeah.
You could.
A little lumpy.
A little lumpy. I'm a little lumpy. Speaking of lumpy,
I don't know why I turned on my neon signs, but you can't actually see them.
You have neon
I see
signs?
A light. Oh no, that's the recording symbol.
Oh,
what is that back there? Oh, it's the void. It's the Kali.
It's the void. I'm just gonna.
There they are.
This is dumpling
out of frame.
Ooh, yummy! I love dumplings.
I broke the fourth wall. Okay, I'm done.
I got my lamp.
Good night.
Good night. This is Leo. You want to say something to sign off so I can stop recording?
I want to say, Kali, you're awesome. Awesome.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Gazoon type.
Listen to Hell A. Hey, new metal is back, y'all.
Oh God, probably.
God forbid.
It is. You need to bring that album back. That's coming to Spotify.
Oh my god!
Exclusive for Just One Song listeners.
I'll just...
Hell A.
Hell yeah.
That's the best.
No, I don't think I've ever talked about that ever. So that is an exclusive.
That is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just unpacking trauma from the new metal.
Happy. And how's your relationship with your father? No. Let's end on that.
Pretty good.
Oh, good.
I told you not to come into my room when I'm listening to Hell A, Dad.
Oh no, it's completely opposite. My dad would be the one listening to something crazy.
Oh, dude, your dad sounds like he rocks.
Both my parents. They lived right near the Black Flag Church in Hermosa Beach way back when. My dad, he gave me Nirvana Nevermind. He's like, oh, some of the younger kids that I hired, because he did ceiling and wall textures in people's houses. So you'd always hire teenagers. He's like, they were listening to this. It's really cool. Here you go. And I'm subbing.
You just doubted your dad's illegal operations of his business.
Oh yeah. Well, LA. So, a lot of
good point.
People that you'd find at Home Depot hanging out.
Yeah.
Hey, gotta pay them bills.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotta keep those cogs of capitalism turning, baby.
But yeah, no, he's a cool guy. It's hard to compete with a cool guy, cool dad.
Little cool dad syndrome. Hey, to all the cool dads out there.
Cool dad syndrome.
Oh man.
Am I a cool dad?
Sure.
Sure.
Thanks
for the vote of confidence, Lee.
No, you are really cool. Maddie, my partner, my wife, my life partner. She met Kurt for the first time last week.
It was not the first time.
Wait, she met you before?
I met her 3 or 4 times before that.
Well, this time it's stuck.
Did it?
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm glad. Are we
who's that person you do a show with?
Leo and I went to college together, and I met her at the Songwriter Showcase. Both times you did it. Okay. I met her at the gay bar where you did the drag show in Riverside.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
We hung out with her.
Why don't we talk about all these things? Okay, yeah. What is the Songwriter Showcase? B, were you in a drag show?
Yes. I won 3rd place at the Draglicious Drag Ball in 2000. Was it 2007?
Were you in drag?
I was in drag, yeah.
No, they thought he was. They gave him 3rd place.
They were like, "Here you go, buddy."
No, he was. He showed up.
I just was there. No, there's a gay bar in downtown Riverside, California called the Menagerie. Okay. And every time we played there, I would always go to Goodwill and find dresses, and I would just
that's awesome.
It's the best thing to play in too, because it's so free and airy. And
oh yeah,
I miss it.
I think at one point the Manx all wanted to dress up like they were in prom dresses, so a bunch of them borrowed my dresses to wear.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
For their heavy metal folk band. What is the Songwriter Showcase?
So
it sounds fancy.
We both went to Cal Poly Pomona, and it's basically it's a required. Is it required? No, it's optional. But students submit, they audition a song to the group or to this class.
Yeah,
and then typically the seniors or sometimes the juniors are given the task of producing a whole show for these songs. So Leo, were you a producer?
I think so.
Yes. I was a producer my senior year, and so you're assigned 7 or 8 songs as a band, and then you have to bring that to fruition on stage, and that's kind of your final.
That's crazy.
And so it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Fun and crazy
to work with.
Also, I didn't know there was a Cal Poly in Pomona, because the Cal Poly I know is in San Luis Obispo.
Mm-hmm. So it's the sister school. Cal Poly Pomona was the agricultural ring of Cal Poly SLO, and then it became its own university. They
interesting.
They raised the world's supply of Arabian horses there.
Sure.
Our previous guest on the show, Dr. Jesse
a much needed
Vallejo,
resource.
Was right? Yeah, whatever. But she's the professor, an associate professor there, and the leader of the mariachi ensemble, and
they've toured around the world. Yeah,
she's awesome. Played for Arnold Schwarzenegger a number of times. She's Hers is a good episode if you're interested in checking it out.
She's done a lot of cool stuff in like she loves Weezer and like the Blue Album, and so she's like mariachi-fied like normal pop songs and rock songs and stuff.
Wait, cool. She's not. What was that band that went viral playing at the Dodger Stadium? That was a mariachi band that.
Oh, that was the
Creed
Easy Band.
The Easy Band.
Yeah,
I think we talked about them.
We talked about them. Yeah,
they're cool. Yeah, they have a song. It's the Corrido del Will Smith, and it's all about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Oh my god,
it's a corrido.
Amazing.
It's so funny, dude. It's so great.
The only I like do you know that band The Bronx? They have Mariachi El Bronx. Like their version of the band, but I know the guitarist Kenneth. Oh my god, what was his last name? I don't know. I met him years ago because he was briefly married to my friend from the band Poly6.
What a
Japanese punk band.
That's awesome. I'm like
small world.
There's so many shout outs we gotta do now.
Yeah.
Anyone you want to shout out in particular before we sign off?
Me?
Yeah, shout outs.
Shout out Adam. Miss him. Sorry, I told him I'd do that. Go ahead.
Shout out to my boyfriend Paul Cornett, because he'll probably watch this after, because he's a big he says no one rocks as hard as him. He lives to rock. So when he met me, he was like, "Oh man, you're so cool and rocking." So even though he's my boyfriend and he lives with me and all that, he still like will watch my interviews and things.
Hey, that's a good partner right there.
That's awesome.
I forgot we're videotaping this. I've just been like.
He's probably just asleep in the other room because he thought I'd be done an hour ago.
Oh no!
You know what's funny? Like my bed, I'm in my bedroom / living room.
I'm in my bed right now.
she's gone at I sleep sitting up. She's at a bachelorette party in Palm Springs. But like, I recorded when I recorded Dr. Vallejo's episode. I was like, "Honey, have you listened to the episode?" She goes, "No, I was there when you recorded it. Why would I listen to it?" I go, because you only heard me." She goes, "All I needed to hear. I don't care." And I'm like, all right.
Oh,
it's okay.
Maybe because we're still early on in our relationship, so he's not bored of.
I wear her down.
Hit yet.
No, we're 10 years in, and so we're just it's 2 kids. She's stuck with me now. No,
we barely tolerate each other.
Jeez Louise. Okay, really? I'm gonna walk away, because if I don't walk away now, I can't get my steps before midnight.
Get your steps in. Yeah.
Good.
You have half an hour.
This is just one song with Kali Kazoo.
Good night.